This is Breaking News with your favorite news team. Felicia Carey with weather on the 7s. Field correspondent all the way from Brownsville, Stephanie Castellanos. And your co-anchors, Sarah Seidel and Adrian Fung. This is KATX 13 News.
Good evening. Tonight, a manhunt is in effect for a Sag Paneer thief who is thought to have stolen over 1,000 microwave meals from a University of Texas staff freezer. The suspect's name is Steve Kelder. Authorities now think he may be heading up the I-35 corridor to Dallas, where a co-conspirator, Raul Caetano, is alleged to be hiding out.
And later, Sarah will sit down with Bill Cole, a professor who claims to break out into goosebumps every time he sees a dose-response effect.
But first, our top story is a study currently being conducted by the University of Texas School of Public Health concerning the increasing levels of violence along the Texas-Mexico border.
The researchers in Austin and Brownsville will be examining the physical, mental, and substance abuse effects of this violence on border youth.
Let's go now to Stephanie Castellanos, who is on site in Brownsville. Hola, Stephanie.
Hola!
Tell us more about the violence along the border region.
Thanks, Sarah. Just to mention, violence is a topic that affects many populations across the U.S. And particularly for this region, along the U.S.-Mexico border, particularly with Texas, a lot is not known about community violence in general, and about some of the vulnerable populations that it affects, including adolescents in the community. And these are kids, 13 to 18 years of age. And so we don't know a lot about it and the health effects, things that are affecting them now as a result of community violence, and how it will affect them in the future, as they're growing up to become older teenagers and then young adults. So yeah.
Thanks, Stephanie. Oh my god, it looks windy down there. Now we'll hear from Felicia, who will tell us about the current conditions along our border.
Thanks, Adrian. That was the lowdown on our issue. Now let's look at current conditions on our border. An in-depth analysis looking at crime rates along the Texas border regions found that between the years of 2006 and 2010, several cities saw significant increases in violent crime, most notably El Paso and Starr counties. And interestingly, the largest crime rate increases occurred in 3 of the region's least populous counties, Kinney, Terrell, and Hudspeth. Back to you, Sarah.
Thanks, Felicia. Love that scarf. So, Stephanie, tell us, what is the fundamental question your study on violence is trying to answer?
So if we ask the question, what is community violence? Well, according to the National Center for Children Exposed to Violence, these are acts committed by person within the community that are not specifically related to the victim, acts of interpersonal violence. And so several studies have found out that exposure to community violence has increased negative effects of mental health, as well as substance abuse has been an issue, but not a lot is still known. And so what we want to do in this particular region is study these effects, mental health, substance abuse, and physical health for the adolescents aged 13 to 18. And these will be done in high schools and middle schools for 13 to 18-year-olds across the whole Texas border with Mexico. And we hope that this research will basically help identify more information and how to create interventions and policies and strategies that would be more culturally competent and cover the areas that are in need for these adolescents.
That was really interesting, Stephanie. And now here to tell us about the forecast is Felicia.
Well, Adrian, the forecast calls for even greater increases in these violent crime fronts along the border, which is why for this groundbreaking study, students will be recruited from 35 middle and 37 high schools in the 15 counties that are directly adjacent to the Texas-Mexico border: El Paso, Hudspeth, Jeff Davis, Presidio, Brewster, Terrell, Valverde, Kinney, Maverick, Webb, Zapata, Starr, Hidalgo, and Cameron. Study conditions are expected to be sunny overall, with a total of 4,347 students who will participate by the study's completion. Now back to you, Sarah and Adrian.
Muchas gracias, Felicia. We'll be back with special guest Bill Cole and the softball team's latest 21-0 loss after this short break.
Amigo, ¿qué te pasa? Estás llorando. Seguro es por desdenes de mujeres. No hay golpe más mortal para los hombres que el llanto y el desprecio de esos seres. Amigo, voy a darte un buen consejo. Si quieres disfrutar de sus placeres, consigue